The following is a Productions original series.
Hello and welcome to Walk and Roll Live. I'm Doug Vincent along with Addie Rich, and this is a bonus episode.
Right? You found a secret spot.
Yeah.
You like us so much, you want a bonus.
So I guess we could talk a little bit about why we're having this bonus episode, and that is because Addie's sister has changed her life in many, many ways and is going off on a new adventure. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but most importantly, we're going to talk about what it was like growing up with Addie.
I know, God.
Oh, God.
She needs a medal.
Yeah, so I know she's your left arm, right arm.
I didn't have.
Yeah.
She is my other and better half. But yeah, it was a cool opportunity to have her at home with me for a while they're on their adventuring. So we took the opportunity to all sit down together and make this happen.
Awesome. So we'll get out of the way, let you hear all about Addie and Amanda's life, and we'll be back after this word from Agyar Professional Training.
At Agyar Professional Training, we know that your greatest asset is your team. Investing in their development, knowledge, and happiness is essential for your business's success and growth. To achieve new heights, it's important to hire intelligent, talented individuals and empower them to excel in their areas of strength and passion. Agyar is committed to transforming your employees into happier, more productive, and fulfilled individuals. When your team thrives, your business prospers. Wise leaders understand that providing team members with opportunities to shine in their strengths unlocks untapped potential. Elevate your team with Agyar Professional Training and witness the growth of your business. From the Agyar Professional Training Studios, you're listening to Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories.
And now our bonus episode of Walk and Roll Live, and here to introduce herself is Addie's sister.
My name is Amanda Rich, and I am currently traveling the country with my son, but I am usually stationed in San Luis Obispo, California, where I was born and raised with my sister, Addie. Mm-hmm. And I do not have a disability, but I have witnessed it firsthand all of my life because my sister has cerebral palsy and my sister is Addie Rich. So I'm excited to be here and be able to share some insight on what it's like to be the sister of somebody who has.
It's a topic we have not covered yet, so we'll definitely touch on that a little bit. So the name, when you said your name, I'm wondering if the audience is wondering, Rich, is that
sounds familiar?
Related to the co-host? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we talked a little bit, I think, about it a few weeks ago, that you're off on this journey. Mm-hmm. You've left San Luis Obispo. You're just kind of traveling at this point and exploring the United States with your son before you settle down and put him back in school. Does that sound like what's going on right at this moment?
Exactly. Yeah. I left my job of 25 years and I've lived in San Luis my whole life. So it was just kind of a time where it was perfect for both of us to start a new chapter and kind of see what's out there and see what we both like and try to find a place that we both kind of feel like we might fit in and do something that we both enjoy. So not just, it's usually the parent who's like, okay, we're going here and this is what we're going to do. But I'm trying to make it both of like a joint effort of we both get to decide this is where we want to be, which has been really fun. And we've traveled through 10 states already. So
wow.
Just for being gone for a week, we've seen quite a bit.
Yeah.
We know where we don't want to go so far.
So you found some of those places already?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
And is that, for me, that I think would be frightening, just to kind of, leave a job and just decide to travel and kind of not really know where the end of this chapter would be. So
I think there is slightly a little bit of fear there, but I think it's more of like excitement of
good.
Not knowing. It's kind of like the uncertainty of it all. That's kind of like the exciting part of it. just to be like, okay, I'm not really sure exactly where we're going to land, but I know we're going to land somewhere.
Sure.
And luckily, we have people along the way, like my sister, who's here to support us and give us places to stay when we're trying to figure out along the way what we want to do.
Now, do you have some destinations along the way that you kind of want to check out as potential places to maybe come back to?
Yeah, so we've always, I mean, I've always enjoyed Tennessee. My mom and I took a road trip many years ago, coming from Illinois, down to visit my sister, and we went to Nashville and a couple of places in Tennessee. And I mean, I've always liked Tennessee just because it's clean and it's pretty, and I would like to go to some other towns just to kind of check that out. I also have never been to like Oregon and Washington, which is kind of I like the colder weather, so I mean, right now I'm experiencing some of the very hot weather with my sister, hot, humid weather where you step outside and your glasses fog up. But so Oregon, Washington, like that's going to be our next after we head back towards California. That's going to be our next venture is like up north to Oregon, Washington, and then Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. I want to go to all those places too.
Colorado.
And Colorado, yes, of course, Colorado.
Yeah. I know when I was young, I always thought it would be great to live in Oregon or Washington. And then I never visited, but as I got older, and all that lush green, it rains a lot. And I don't think I would do well. If it's cloudy for 3 or 4 days here, I started to get in a funk. So I don't think it would be it's beautiful, but I don't think it would be a great destination for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I kind of need to experience because I'm like, I like the colder weather, but I don't like rain, but I mean, I don't mind it, but I don't want, But there are parts of Oregon and Washington, like, I mean, it's huge. They're huge states, so they don't all rain like all the time. I think it's kind of a misnomer that they're like always the rainy states, but they don't always rain. But it is very green and pretty, and that's where my son and I are definitely more of like the mountains kind of, and trees more than the beach. Like we don't
For sure.
we've lived near the beach our whole lives, and it's not like our thing. So we would definitely prefer to be in the trees and, lakes and rivers rather than ocean.
And she likes hiking and sweaters and jackets and things she can't use in San Luis. So she needs a taste of like, no, it's cold enough to need a jacket and your sweater.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No, a lot of my old coworkers, they would like tease me because I had so many jackets, but I never get to wear them because it literally is like never cold. I mean, it'd be cold like 1 month of the year to actually be able to wear them. So
what do you think of your guest, your Addie, for a while? And her
so
big
happy.
adventure.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited that she decided to do it. I'm excited that I can hug her whenever I feel like it. She's close enough to touch and have her clean my kitchen and do all of those things. It's nice to be sisters. I mean, we haven't, because she's always lived on the West Coast. It's always been a short visit or whatever. Yeah. It's nice to be like, this can be longer and we don't have to stay up till 1 a.m. talking because I'll see you tomorrow, I like that.
Any idea how long you're going to stay right now?
Probably like maybe 2 weeks, just because we have plans. She just got some time off, so we're gonna hopefully venture to Savannah this weekend,
nice.
Which I've never been to. She's been a couple times, but I've never been. So I'm really
South Carolina.
No, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, but it's kind of right there. I mean, it's pretty close to north. Is it north?
One of the Carolinas.
Yeah.
But I mean, my nephew likes ghost tours and things like that. So we're going to take him on like a ghost hunt, and we're going to go to like one of the old cemeteries, like all that. I'm excited to show them that. That isn't really California style, right?
Well, and it's old. Like it's always fun to see the different side of places, obviously. But like Savannah is very, California is relatively new compared to some places like Savannah. Yeah. And so I'm definitely trying to make sure that we visit spots that are important for him, just to witness other parts of life. And I want to take him to a couple of Civil War things, just so he knows like the history of.
We came from a place. We didn't just pop up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that would be my jam.
All about the missions.
Yeah.
So
going to Civil War stations would be great.
Yeah.
And just all that Southern charm. Right, in those cities back there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Moss in the trees and the really old, like actual carved things in the graveyards. And I'm excited to show them.
Yeah. This morning I went and I hiked, well, it wasn't really hiking, it was more walking. There's Stone Mountain. I don't know if you are familiar with that
Sounds
area or not, but
familiar.
it's also a carving in the rock, and I don't know, who are they? I'm not sure.
Civil War. It's like Sherman and all that. It depicts part of the burning of Atlanta because Atlanta was the big place in the Civil War that, it kind of we put a stop to movement of different things because they burned basically everything in the railroad and whatever. And
Yeah,
so
that was kind of the final blow.
Yeah.
That the
Sure.
South said, "Okay, Uncle."
yeah. Okay, we'll take a break now.
But this particular area is just like trees, and there's hiking trails, and then there's the huge carving.
River.
But there's a lake, and there's like an old mill, and it was really pretty. And
We've gone for almost every time she comes, we go, but it looks different depending on the season and depending on, what time of the morning
yeah.
and all those things.
Sounds like a beautiful place.
Oh no, I saw a couple deer. Like I had to slam my brakes on actually because two deer decided to run across the road. But it was really pretty.
Yeah.
It was nice. But of course you have to go early in the morning because it's so friggin' hot here. You would die otherwise. I was sweating and it was like 7. I was like, okay. Yeah. This is
Basically,
fun.
I got up for work and she went to the mountain and had her little jaunt. So
Yeah.
Very good.
makes me happy.
Yeah.
And now you're back for our little podcast here. I've got to kind of bring it around to the topic of our
I know.
podcast. Yeah. That's fine.
Circle.
Love to hear about this. Because we hear about you on the podcast from time to time.
You
And
might be one of my favorite people.
exactly, we kind of picked up on that. So we're I guess it's a topic that I know has rattled around in my head a little bit, and I haven't done it yet. So now's as good a time as any. Just wondering what it's like, being the sibling of somebody with a disability. I know I've heard from my able-bodied siblings that there's a lot of attention that is put on that person because of the needs they have. And do you remember as a child how that?
Oh yeah, for
affected
sure.
you?
I think it definitely evolves obviously as you get older and can appreciate it more
Yeah.
and like respect the situation. But when you're young, it is kind of hard because we spend a lot of time at like my sister would have physical therapy appointments and we would spend a lot of time going to those therapy appointments. And then I remember when she had like her back surgery, we had to go to LA, and then that was a huge thing. And I remember thinking like there was times when my sister would get more attention just because she needed it, and I did feel like a little bit left out. But I think my mom tried hard to include me or do like different things with me. But for me, I was like more of the person that would just play with my Barbies.
Mhm.
So I would entertain myself. Like I would just go off and play with my Barbies. But I do remember, feeling a little jealous here and there. And I remember one time when I was at home and I think I actually like went in the backyard and like tried to skin my knee or something just because I was like, I wanted some attention. And so I was like, I did something to, try to make make them pay attention to me. But as you get older, you realize like how silly that kind of stuff is, and you could just appreciate more the struggle of
And
of
move
your
beyond
sibling
it. Yeah.
and realize how lucky you are to be healthy, the healthy one, and just not take advantage of that. And it definitely is something that changes over time.
So it never turned into any resentment between you and had any issues.
Oh no, I think
No.
we had like when we had our sisterly spats, which we definitely had, it was just over,
The same
silly
stuff.
things. Yeah. It was like silly
My
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
Same siblings. Stuff.
We shared a room almost all our life.
Oh,
So
okay.
we would get annoyed with each other over that.
Typical sibling stuff. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shared a room with my brother. Oi.
Yes. Yes. But I also think like when you do have a sibling who has a disability, you are definitely a little bit more protective. And I would, protect my sister with everything that I had when we were young.
Yeah.
And like at school, if anybody picked on her, I would like try to stand up to them or whatever. But like I remember vividly one occasion when we went to Chuck E. Cheese, and there was, because kids are brats and they don't
Yep.
know, but
Yep.
they're just they're just mean and they will either make comments or stare. And I just remember being like, I went up to them and was like, if you take a picture, it'll last longer. And it was like, you're just trying to be like, hey, back off, buddy.
Yeah.
But then when you get older and you're just like, yeah, she's awesome. Like, take a picture.
So, Addie, anything that you want to take this opportunity to ask about, explore?
Jeez. I mean,
Put you on the spot.
She was such a good sister, though.
Yeah.
She rolled with the punches, and it's a big deal. Like to have to give over yourself and your parents' attention, and it's a sacrifice that you didn't get asked about.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm not trying to stir anything up here. I'm just curious.
No,
we've
got this. You're gonna stir it up. It's two sisters sitting together.
Man, if I can get you, in a fight, that would be great. Or crying. That's always the good one.
He goes for that. Yeah. No, I mean, it is a huge deal. It's a huge deal. She showed up and I was already here, and it was already complicated. So it wasn't like she got a choice, or could turn back around and go, "Can I have another family?"
Yeah, can I take two?
But I mean, she's tremendous, and she's tremendous. She's always been tremendous.
Yeah.
No, but I think it makes you. I mean, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but make you say like it makes you kind of a stronger person, just because you do have to deal with adversities and people that are unkind or whatever, and you just learn how to deal with that.
That's
it's
what I was
just a different
wondering.
way of life, but I mean, I think for me too, is like I always feel like I have to not prove her abilities. But I always feel like I am always being like, my sister has cerebral palsy, but she's so smart. Like it's automatically like when you say they have a disability, that people are going to assume that she's a certain way.
Underestimate her. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to be like, no, she like has 2 degrees. She's smarter than me. Like she is so intelligent and she has done so much with her life. So I'm constantly trying to do that. And I feel like I've always been trying to do that too, just because I'm like, I don't want people to have the preconceived idea that just because somebody has a disability, they're unable to do things.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a champion that is a champion for you, even when you're not in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it sounds like she's got that in you.
Well, and I think that's one reason, like, I'm so excited even for their adventure, right? Because it's like some of the stuff physically, like, I can't do that. I can't go hike Stone Mountain. I can't, like, I poop out. I got to go to work. But I love that she uses her body and, like, is making a choice that, like, go live your life, go do it, go see it, go touch it, go, Amanda really likes to hike, and that makes me happy because she takes awesome pictures of it. And I'm like, sometimes I wish I was up there, but other times I'm like, go you.
But you get joy from watching her experience.
Kind of a good example too, because I could as I was walking today, I was thinking, Addie could do this. Like where I was walking, I'm like, you could totally come with me and walk this path. But I mean, you do think about those things, like, is it accessible? Is it not accessible? Which is something that people who aren't in our situation wouldn't even think about.
Wouldn't even think. Yep.
And you go to certain places and you're like, wow, like, how is this not accessible to somebody who's handicapped? Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of a cool thing too, just because it brings more of awareness, And
many times it would be fairly easy, to make some of those places accessible.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about airplanes, and you're like, why isn't it just the first couple seats are completely removed so they can have wheelchairs?
Yeah. And they're working on that, and they're working on the design, but it's a slow process.
They're working on it, but it's like, come on, people. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Why is it taking this long?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, some of the stuff that we do come up with is silly, and then you're like, okay, let's focus on things that actually matter. But I think also too, being somebody who has a disabled sister, that you see that not everybody pays attention to your group of people, it is kind of the underrated, because people automatically are race, and they're considered, they're more concerned about the race card, or is this getting, paid attention to or whatnot. And then it's the disabled community isn't always in the forefront of the conversation, which I think is an important thing, and which is so awesome that you guys are continually trying to make sure the word's out there and people understand. So I think I'm lucky and fortunate that I've been around it to be able to learn and understand and support and try to like put the word out there too. Like, okay, we need to fix this. Or, if I'm somewhere, I'll be like, okay, you could do this. You could do this. Yeah. We can go here.
And you've seen that over the last few years. To your point, not enough maybe, but you see that with all the talk about diversity and equity and all that over the last few years. There's the poster or sign I'm seeing that says you can't have equity without disability.
Yeah.
We're fighting for
but I
this.
Still, I mean, group. I really, yeah, it's just sad that it's still so underrated and not discussed.
And we've mentioned here too a few times over the course of doing this is that, generally it doesn't take anything away from anybody able-bodied to have something, an accommodation for a disability. If you put in ramps because of stairs, that doesn't mean the able-bodied people, can't get to where they need to go. They can they can still use the ramp to get there. Yeah,
exactly.
And there's so many things like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, hopefully as the world continues, we will improve. That's the goal, right? Is that we're all trying to improve.
I think that it's true, right? That this, like we say, like, well, if I put a ramp in, it's not like you're not allowed to go on here because you should be using the stairs.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's just, it's interesting. And I mean, even like, we'll see, like, there are things I know already, like I can't do them in Savannah because it's an old city, but they can go and do it. Yeah. Like a lot of how the stairs to get up to things or whatever. Like I'm already going to send them on things that I know I can't do because it's cool and somebody should go do it and tell me what it's like. But in the South, older cities or in Europe where it's not as accessible by any means, or how we've talked about New York, like there's a lot of, for as advanced as we've become in certain things, there's still things antiquated that makes it a challenge.
Yeah. Got to just keep chipping away at it, making noise.
Yeah. But that is like the sad part about like when you go to just certain places like Europe where it's cobblestone roads or walkways and you're trying to roll across on the wheelchair, which is like nearly impossible. It's like, I mean, people don't have any idea what it's like if you've never experienced it, but and
we've all run into this too, where like you say, people not only are they not aware of it, they don't fully understand. Even if the topic is brought up, what being accessible is.
Or people will be like, just get up and go over there because they've seen you walk or whatever. Like, don't. Like, maybe I'm in a position that I can't do that. I no longer have that luxury, or I got injured and there's no way. Like, you just didn't know me for the last 10 years when I broke my neck. Like, you know what I mean? So to tell somebody, like, no, you adapt because this is,
I've been in a wheelchair and I bought my ticket somewhere and got an accessible seat and I get there and there's one step to get to where the seat is. And the usher looks at you like, well, there it is. There's your seat. Well, you don't see an issue here.
Like what's the standoff? Who's going to win?
Well, and that's the hard part is because you're like, whose responsibility is that? I mean, obviously it's theirs, but they don't see it that way. You know what I mean? Which is hard.
Yeah.
But I can share a funny story.
Yeah. Love to hear a funny story.
I can share a funny story, but this one's not too bad, but I was just thinking about it because the uneven roads, because people don't have any idea. But so the last time Addie and I got to go to Disneyland, which is our favorite place to go.
Yes.
And we love Disneyland, and my son is not a fan, which is so sad.
Which means he might not really be her son.
Yeah. But he doesn't like roller coasters. So, I mean, I'm hoping as he gets older, he'll get more comfortable. But we made the mistake of putting him on Splash Mountain when he was really young and didn't tell him it was a roller coaster. So he like never forgave me for that one.
We have crippled ourselves.
Yeah. But so anyway, so the last time Addie and I were going to Disneyland, we had stayed at a hotel that was a little ways away.
Like a mile.
Yeah. But we were like waiting for the shuttle and it was never coming. So we decided, let's just walk. So of course, Addie had her walker because we were going to rent a wheelchair once we got into the park.
Yeah.
And she hadn't brought her wheelchair to California.
Yeah.
So we were just going to use the walker. We made a plan. So anyways, I was like, just sit on the walker because of course it has a seat and I'll push you. So so she's like facing towards me and I'm pushing her down the sidewalk.
Like a shopping cart.
Yeah.
Almost.
So, I mean, it's fine. Everything's going great. We're just like, chilling. And then I think I'm giving my little scenario of like, on the left-hand side, I'm starting the tour early. on the
Yeah.
on the walker. And then for some reason I didn't see it was like the metal covering that
The
was
grate.
connected, the grate, yeah. It was like where a part, I don't know if it was like covering
garage.
it was a parking
Parking
garage.
garage.
Okay, so it was just like an uneven surface, but I didn't see it. So of course
Yep.
I hit it and she went backwards and landed like on her elbows and I like fell on top of her.
This is like 7 a.m. too.
Yeah.
It's not like late. It's early. We're
course,
already
yeah.
hyped.
Fully lit.
So I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? Of course, we're like looking around, make sure nobody witnessed it because that's more embarrassing than the actual being
Yeah,
of it all.
physical. Yeah.
And so then Addie, well, she's like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then she gets up and she's like, well, my elbow does hurt a little bit. And I was like, crap. And so we're like checking it out and it seems okay. So we're like, okay, well, there's a Walgreens. Let's go and we'll wrap it up.
We're like, we're going to Disneyland.
Yeah,
Nobody
oh, yeah.
cares.
Yeah,
Not even a
because
question.
we haven't even made it in yet, the park. So we're like, we're not giving up our day.
No.
So we go to Walgreens and we get an ace bandage. Did we put like ice or I think just
No,
ace
we
bandage?
just- whatever we
Yeah,
can
we
do.
just got an ace bandage and we
No.
wrapped it up. And then of course, so like we get to the park, we get the wheelchair, we spend all day. And then but of course, like during the day, like as she's getting on a ride, she's like, ow, my elbow is like a little
It's
sore.
tight,
Yeah,
you
she's
know?
like, it's a little sore. And so, we're like, well, hopefully you didn't do anything too bad to it, but it's fine. It's fine. So then we get back to the hotel later that night and it was like a huge bump.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
so it's swelling?
double its stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So-
swollen with ace wrap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was like purple and then it was like swollen and then we're like, crap, what happened? So we're like looking it up to try to figure out and diagnose, of course, what it is.
This will help us.
And so it's called bursitis. It's like a swollen, it's when you're,
Basically, you get fluid in your joint
Yeah.
because you hit it a certain kind of way and it like makes the pad move or somehow. Needless to say, we probably shouldn't have gone to Disneyland all day, but whatever.
yeah. But she's fine. She's fine. She healed. She
So-
did recover, but so it was like an ongoing joke. So we always would say like bursitis because we were like joking about it. So then if we like
Trip.
get any sort of injuries, we'll be like bursitis.
But yeah.
But yeah, it was an adventure. But yeah, you don't think about those little things like if there's a bump in the sidewalk, you need to be careful because you might fall.
I've done a few of those
in the middle
myself.
of your fake
Yeah.
Disney tour, you might eat it and not make it to Disney.
Well, I wasn't so lucky at Disneyland. When I first
Okay.
got my chair, that was one of the first places we went. We went to Disneyland, and when you're in a chair, you can go take you in the entrance, right? And,
the
or
exit.
I'm sorry, the exit.
Hypothetically, they stopped doing that now.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So when I did it, and I was at the haunted house. So
Okay.
you know how the haunted house is back and forth before, you're there an hour before you even get inside the house. And then there's more line inside there. So they take you right as it gets to the top of one of the first lines. It kind of makes a turn and there's a little opening there in a sidewalk and they let you in there and take you in and
Yeah.
you get in the elevator before everybody else gets in.
Yes.
Right. And so we come back out after we got done and I would have a backpack on the back. Now I had little wheelie bars to keep you from tipping over at that time. And I had a little carrier that would carry my crutches because I could still get up and, if I needed to, I could use the crutches to transfer, that kind of thing. So I'm coming out now. There's, I don't know how many hundreds of people are in that line, all waiting out there. I come through and there's a little chain across it. So I open the little chain and I go back to hand it back to one of my family members behind me. And just the weight of me, it starts to go over. Well, the little wheelie bars did not help either. And I went
The
over.
wheelie bars were like, bye.
Exactly. It's
Oh,
what we
no.
call turtling when you're in a wheelchair. You're laying on your back, and just
Oh
flat
no.
in front of everybody. It was like, oh, well, it is what it is. But it was funny because some guy in line, he says, because at the time it was my ex, and we all went together. And he says, I saw her do that. She pushed you down. So,
Oh.
no, just me in front of God and
That's
everybody.
funny.
But yeah,
You
those
wanted
things
to
happen.
get back up and wave.
Yeah, ta-da. You do one of
Yeah.
those.
Well, I was going to say that back in the day, it was always, we do joke because my sister with her wheel, there are perks when you have a handicapped sibling because it's like, that was one thing when we went to Disneyland, we'd always get to go to the front of the lines. And, we always joke because we have the handicap sticker when we're with her. So a lot of the times my son and I will be like, where's Auntie when we need her? Like if there's like no parking and there's just handicap, we're like, where's Auntie when we need her?
I am good for something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not just comic relief.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, that wasn't too embarrassing, Addie, was it?
No, that wasn't too bad. And that's a fun story because every time anybody trips now or whatever, we're always like, bursitis.
Bursitis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, we'll leave it at that's like the most embarrassing one because I have others, but we don't want to embarrass her too much.
All right, maybe for the
she's
future.
got to stay with me. She doesn't want me to like give her food poisoning on
That's
purpose.
right.
Exactly.
We are siblings.
Yes.
You know how to push each other's buttons, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
Well, good.
But we've always kind of been the terrible two. And I think that's one of the things is like you're bonded as siblings deeper. Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been a sibling that wasn't disabled, but I feel like it's even deeper because like she said, she's my natural protector.
Yeah.
She's, there's a lot more bonding that goes on, especially like going through things that were medically like making me fragile. You're scared that your sibling might not be there. Like, I think there's other scenarios that make you stick to each other.
Well, it's good to have you guys together. Good to hear a little bit more about where your journey is. Because like I say, we've heard a little bit about it up till this point. So we're going to have to check back in after you have a few more adventures under your belt.
Yes.
I'm and then see where you ultimately land.
Exactly. We just,
Is there
time will tell.
What are the cities on the short list if you had to name three?
I mean, I really enjoy
Nashville.
My sister-in-law lives in Aurora, Colorado. So I really like Colorado, and Asher really likes Colorado just because it kind of is the best. Like it's, the trees are like you can go just a short distance and be in the mountains, but you can also, stay where it's relatively doesn't snow that much and it's nice and cool and not too hot. I also really enjoy Wyoming, but I haven't spent enough time there to really know, like, can we live there?
Yeah, I think it's got too much snow.
Yeah. So it's hard to say because I haven't spent enough time in one spot to actually discover. And obviously on so many times when we're traveling to like,
new places.
We're talking to destinations that are very well traveled by tourists. So touristy things. And that's not, that's not life. So it'll be nice to just kind of experience places where you can kind of see how real people live and not just spend money and do, vacation things.
Yeah. So you may stumble into a city that you just fall in love with that you never thought of, right?
Exactly. Yes. And it's it's hard because San Luis Obispo is obviously so beautiful and so nice. And there's, a lot of people come there to to live and travel and visit. So it is hard because I know that it is, and it's been my home for so long, but I definitely am like, there's so much more out there in the world that I want to see. And I kind of have in my mind of like what I'm looking for. Like, I don't like Atlanta is great and all, but I don't like traffic. Like, I want to be somewhere where it's like kind of a smaller town, but not too rural where you can't like go to the grocery store in 5 minutes. So hopefully that's not too big of an ask, but I kind of like the smaller town charm of, the slower life of not having to be, hurry up and get somewhere kind of thing.
Looked like you were going to say something, Addie.
No, wherever she picks, I'm letting her be the picker.
Gotcha.
I think I'll probably end up there too, but I want her to do the deciding because it's her turn to choose. I've chosen a lot of my life and I want to choose to be closer to her, but I'll let her pick that place that makes her happy, and her being there will make me happy. So
on this journey that you're going on, I think you have an Instagram that you're going to share with people. Is that okay? Or
yeah,
I already told last time. Go.
Yeah.
It's Little Richmond.
Yeah.
we just came up with it, so I'm like, I don't know exactly if I'm saying it right now, but it's just Little Rich Adventures.
Okay.
Because my son's last name is still Little John's, and I'm Rich, so.
And she's the Little Rich.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, and back when I was in high school, my friends would call me Little Rich and Little Richie. So it's kind of followed me.
All right. Well, we'll get updates from Addie, and we'll continue to direct people to the Instagram so they can see what you guys are up to.
Oh, yeah.
They can follow it too.
Yeah.
Follow along.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here on Walk and Roll Live. We appreciate it.
Oh, it was good to talk to you, as always.
Each week on Walk and Roll Live, we share honest and open stories of people living with a disability.
And when we landed at the rooftop of the hospital, I was pronounced dead. At some point in time, it even got to the point where doctors told my parents that, there was really nothing they could do anymore, but just wait and see. And my mom even said that people from the morgue was coming to see her. And
join us weekly for another powerful episode. Walk and Roll Live, wherever you get your podcasts. Life Limitless. Subscribe now.
You're listening to Walk and Roll Live Disability Stories.
I love this episode. Who's that sound like?
Right?
That was awesome to hear you guys together. You could just feel the affection, definitely. And, big part of your growing up, and obviously it goes both ways, but she was your support.
It's a huge sacrifice that she didn't get asked if she wanted to make. She showed up and it was already on the docket. And she has always been graceful about how her life was different because my life was different. And it's real interesting to sit together and talk about it because we don't. Like, this is the first time I've heard some of that because you don't sit down and say, so tell me how it was to live with me. I mean, you joke about fights and things you fought over and whatever, but to really, I've always been curious because she did take a back seat for a long time.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting, because we only use the audio here on Walk and Roll Live, but, we do it on a Zoom call. And it was interesting to watch you as she was telling these stories, and you're just intently watching her and, listening for all these. Yeah, all these. And yeah, definitely. But all the morsels of insight and information you were getting, like you say, you don't talk about these kinds of things. So a lot of it was new for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. And it's so interesting. I don't know if you've had this experience because I know you talked to your siblings and some you didn't talk to for a long time, but when you're two adults, it's it's like being a whole new person. I mean, she'd be one of my best friends, whether we were siblings or not, because she's a tremendous human. But I think you've kind of had that experience too, where like meeting them as an adult and you're like, wait, we were in the same house. And like, how did that make this?
Exactly. Well, thank you for, being vulnerable enough to share all that with us. And we appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity. And I know Amanda had a good time doing it. So.
All right. And don't forget for our regular scheduled shows every Tuesday. I've been kind of experimenting a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't say this because I don't know where it's going to land. You may be listening to this years from now, but we may be moving the time around a little bit just to try some different things. So,
but find us the same way you just found this. This is a bonus episode, but there are many non-bonus episodes waiting for you to listen to. And hit all the buttons while you're there.
Yes, please. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Love to hear some of your comments. All right. So we'll let you go. Thank you for listening to Walk and Roll Live Disability Stories, Life Limitless.